By his divine power, God has given us everything we need to live a godly life. Amen? He says we have received all this by coming to know him, the one who has called us to himself by means of his marvelous, glorious, and excellence. So the Most High will never ask you for something that you don't have. Better yet, he won't ask you for something that he hasn't already given you. So when he calls you to something or to do something, he's already empowered you, equipped you. You're not missing anything. You just have to discover everything. Touch somebody, say, you're not missing anything. You're going to have to discover everything. Jeremiah 1:5, he says in Jeremiah 1:5, make sure you put in the King James. He says in Jeremiah 1:5, you've read this before. He says, before I formed thee in the belly, before you was conceived in your mother's womb, he said, I knew thee. And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee. Now, and then he says, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. All of this stuff happened before you hit the earth. That he says, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. Let's talk about that in how powerful that is. He said, I knew thee. Watch this. He said, I knew. Everything about you was already decided in the mind of the Most High. I knew. That word knew is what? Say it, thank you, Phil. It's what? All of your life was already decided. That's why don't waste your time meandering through life trying to create a purpose for yourself. Discover the purpose that he knew about you before you were formed in the belly. Past tense. He said, I knew thee, and before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified you. I already separated you and set you apart. That's the reason why the circles you're trying to fit in, you don't fit in. You'll never fit in. You'll never be a part of them. You were never called to them. Romans 8:28. And we know all things work together for the good. Come on. To them that what? Love God. Here's the most important part. To them who are the called according to his what? Purpose. Now go to the next verse. This is important. I want to mess your life up real good. Some of y'all have heard this before, but today hear it in the spirit. He says, for whom he foreknew, he also predestinated to be conformed to the image of his son, that he might be the firstborn among what? Many brethren. For whom he foreknew or foreknow. So he said foreknow. That word foreknow there is prognoskos in the Greek, which means programmed. He programmed. Just like, it's in your program in the wind. He also said he also predestined. And we told you that word predestination in the Greek is translated horizo, where we get the word horizon. The horizon is the line that separates the earth and the sky. When you look off into the horizon, he said he predestined, he horizo. He drew a line in the sand. In other words, there's some things that just ain't going to happen to you, even though you feel like it's going to happen. You ain't got to be fearful of it because there's been a line drawn, and the enemy can't cross the line. That's why other people died in what you thought you should have died in, but Satan couldn't cross the. I wish I had a better class. Satan couldn't cross the. He just could throw accusations across the line, but he couldn't touch you. That's why he says in Isaiah, when he talks about no weapon being formed against you, he said, I created the smith that bloweth the coals on the fire. In other words, I created the devil. I know what weapons he got, and he know what weapons I said he can and cannot use against you. So he can use the weapon of suggestion, but he can't touch your life. Job. For whom he foreknew, he predestined. In other words, for those who he called. Somebody shout called. Your calling, which is your inherited purpose, your inner impulse towards what you have been created for. Our gifts, natural aptitude, and ability help us to actually fulfill the call of the Most High, our purpose for life. But your calling, which is your inner purpose, your inner impulse towards what you have been created for. It is your gifts, natural aptitude, and ability that help you fulfill the call of the Most High. And that's the reason why it is your responsibility to discover your gifts. And once you discover your gifts, it's your responsibility to perfect them. That's how you create the ability to be able to do something and do it with excellence. There's no lack in your life. There's just the untapped discovery of your potential.